Okay, interesting. I spoke to Case Rudenberg last night, the director of the KNKV. He's saying they've done over 2,000 tests so far, and they're testing everybody that's in the hall. There's
Yeah.
over 80 people in the hall, but quite a lot of them are the webcasting team, which they've basically, because of the situation and now
Yeah.
they don't have crowds, the webcasting team getting some of the credit that they deserve for all the hard work that they've done, all the teams over the years. So there's 11 of those. But I heard that of the over 2,000 tests they've done, and that includes the Dutch national squad, I think there's been 4 positives so far.
Wow.
I think that's probably a lot of repeat testing as well. So it's not like a statistic of the overall health of general korfball players, but it's positive. It's encouraging in a good sense. Although in a please korfballers take care sense, I do hear of a senior ex-international that suffered quite badly from this. A fit person that really took some time. They're okay now, absolutely okay now, but they took some time and it was hard. And so us korfballers, I think our sport helps us, but we're not immune to it.
No, of course not. But that number can surely be brought out in order to keep the competition going. It's not.
Yeah.
If we had more positive cases, then maybe the Dutch government says, well, we're going to cancel it anyway because it's a risk. And now it isn't. So that's good news. Let's hope they can keep that up.
Yeah, I understand as well that the Dutch Association are paying for all the tests. And so they're testing on Mondays at the clubs. And on Tuesdays, if you want to have tests, the clubs have to pay for them, and they're testing all the international players at training on Wednesdays as well.
Yeah.
So they're doing what they can to try and keep it going. I know they have good relationships with the ministry and with the International Olympic Committee, who are obviously involved in this as well. Yeah. So yeah, congratulations to them for getting a league on at the moment, giving us something to watch.
Yeah, sure. So, welcome at Caffee K.C, podcasting about korfball. First time in English now, because we met with Tom Brady online, and we're gonna discuss a little bit the Korfball League, the only playing league at the moment in the world, the Dutch Korfball League. So welcome, Tom. Glad to have you here. The voice of korfball, you've been called. So I'm very honored for you to come on Caffee K.C. So my question basically is: did you watch any of the games this weekend? And what are your views at it, or what do you think of it in general?
Yeah, thanks, Dirk. I'm really happy to be on. I'm glad you're doing this. I think it's something that needs to fill the gap in this hole that we've got with no korfball, and really well done stepping up. I'm really happy to have a talk with you. Yes, I did watch a couple of games. The K.C. game was interesting, and maybe we'll talk through it. And the Davio Top game, both interesting in their own way. Okay. It's great to see korfball played. In terms of the K.C. game, I thought probably one of the most interesting things for me was obviously just seeing how the players have adapted to the break, and it seems, look, they're playing hard. This is not a make-up league now. This is the real thing.
Yeah,
that we're seeing after a few weeks of practice games.
But yeah, well, there is no crowd, so they don't interact. But they search in for other things to pull them up, maybe within the team itself, or maybe within the staff. But they're doing it, yeah.
Yeah. So I was interested to see how KZ would set out against K.C. It's always difficult for the lower ranked team. Look, let's not have any illusions about what happens when a team like KZ goes up against a team like K.C.
Yeah.
And so they chose to play rebound, and the K.C. response was run the block. Like, just, really pretty much this is it. Do you want to play that?
Okay.
We can play this, and we're going to play it better than you.
Yeah. They set it up. They did the solution within 5 seconds. I think the thought behind the rebound defense was to run the clock a little bit.
But and that's what I mean. When you play for Belgium, that's probably what you do sometimes, and those are discussions that you have when you play the Netherlands, when you play a top team like this. I thought it was interesting that PKC with the new coach Wim Scholtmeijer obviously stepping down from, and Jennifer Trump stepping down as a partnership from the Dutch national team, and now in the league, which is where you're going to test how good you are and what you do. And I always gave Wim great credit for the style that the Dutch have played over the last few years, and I think I think they have done great things in moving the style on. But here was a different problem with a different solution, which was you got to run that block. And I must say, I thought they did it really well. I mean, I prefer a more open flowing game, but if that's the game that you get, that's the game that you play. And I thought what they did particularly well that I noticed this week was, as you said, very quick into the 2-2, no messing around. Boy in first, nice and big, down to the girl, almost always there straight away. Within 5 seconds, doing a 2-2 setup. So far, so good. A lot of teams can do that. But what I thought they did very well was when they had to recycle that feed and the second feed coming in, that they did really well. They changed the angle of it. And the efficiency that they went in there, where it's everybody on the outside. You got the player on the inside, and eventually when that feed had to leave, really good action, rotation, movement on the outside. So when the second feed come in, it's coming in really kind of nicely timed, and it really kind of kept a flow going on. So we're getting the 3-4 seconds of let's say dead korfball almost when the block's being set up, but then once that's in, bang, they're moving, and I really like the way they did that.
They started really well because they lead it 4-1. So Wim Scholtmeijer, the trainer of K.C, he took a timeout, and I guess from that timeout they did a 1-8 score. So. It's just a really effective timeout there. I wonder what could have been said there. Just keep the pace, or just keep your calm.
Keep doing what you're doing. I think it's just reminding them of what the game plan is, and it's a pretty experienced PKC team. There's a lot of stars in there, but they've integrating a couple of different players in there. But just to remind them of what they're doing, and look, we're going to get good shots. We are getting good shots. They've done okay. They might have talked about just taking a little bit more risk in defense. They didn't take so much risk in the beginning, and as the game kind of progressed, as a lot of games do, they started to take a little bit more risk, and then that took a little bit of the power and the motivation and the confidence out of KZ. But not much to say other than look, hey, come on, catch your breath. Just remind. And I think they scored on the very next attack. And that's always good, when you're a coach and you're able to achieve that. I must say, from the Belgian side, and we'll talk about Yari Ardis in the other game, but it was great to see Julie Caluet in there and playing really, really well. She takes all the shots that are asked of her. She works really hard in attack and defense. Got to be great for Belgian korfball, Dirk.
It's a good thing. Julie is doing really, really good. Not only with the previous coach, but with this one as well. So that's just uplifting the spirit of Belgian korfball.
So after that timeout, and after that period where I'd say in English we say PKC just weathered the storm a little bit of the early part of the game, and no disrespect to KZ, but you get found out eventually. That's what good teams do. They don't always score their first shot, though sometimes they do, but they find you out. They look for your weaknesses, and I thought that's what PKC did really well, both in attack and defense. KZ started to take some risks when they could see how easy it was for PKC to generate shots off that. And I thought it was quite significant, a goal that Olav scored when his player wouldn't follow him around correctly. He kind of got a running in shot out of it. And I thought, I just saw a little bit of kind of energy drain out of KZ. But you've got to take chances, and you've got to do your best to break them down. I thought they looked very good in the first 10 minutes of the second half. I thought they took more chances in attack there, more kind of turning out shots. They were scoring them.
Okay.
That doesn't mean that they did it wrong in the first half.
No.
It's just like, because they wanted to play a solid game and retain the ball. And they did the best they could. And look, that's where they're at the moment. And that's where PKC are at. PKC are getting towards the top of their game.
Yeah, it is, because the match was settled at the first half. The scoreline, when you're I don't know by head, it was 8-15 or something. So if you're behind 7 goals against a team as PKC, you don't gonna make that up in the second half. I think the rate of scoring is 1 out of 2 attacks the first half.
Okay.
So every other attack, it was a goal.
Wow. That's I thought it was significant. Both teams, the girls scored more in the first half than the boys did, and I think a lot of that is coming down to this new-ish penalty rule where you make it, you take it.
Yeah.
And looking at that and seeing those girls stepping up, Sanne van der Werf banging that goal in, like earning their penalty. First of all, you got to earn it. It's not about taking it. And I'm seeing it in particular a lot more. Maybe I'm just kind of like imagining that the girls are really attacking hard now after a rebound.
Yeah, and they're looking for the opportunities, a second drop.
Yeah, they're getting around. They're kind of really, really close. And they do it better than boys, I think, mostly. Maybe because boys just fill a bigger area.
Yeah.
But, the girls are getting around with like 1-2 meters to go sometimes. The one-handed jump shot has reached everybody now in the game, and so that was exciting to see. It reminds me of a point that I thought about looking at the difference between PKC and actually all the 4 teams that I watched this weekend is how clean they keep the ball after a rebound.
Yeah.
And how well they then recycle that ball like to the outside or to the inside.
Yeah, and quick decision and execution. Well,
like the movement has started.
Yeah.
The ball is clean. They know it's coming. I mean, everybody tries to do it, but PKC do it better than everyone else. It helps when you got a guy like Arnaud van Wijngaan, who just out collects everybody.
Yeah.
But I think also, that combination between people looking to get free on the outside, as soon as the ball touches the outside of the skin of the hand, as well as people driving in particular girls driving in like that, it's a dangerous combination. And really, as a fan, it's exciting to see. I'm even though it wasn't the best game in the world because of rebound, it was a little bit slow. I really enjoyed looking at how they went about their business.
Yeah.
What happened to Randy Oosting? Was he on the bench? I didn't see him. I really enjoyed watching him last year.
I think he got injured as well.
Okay.
So we can talk the second game. DVO.
I've only been aware of DVO, like, let's say, the last few years, and I like them. I really do like them. I think they're like a really exciting young team. They play really nice korfball. I'll talk what I saw tactically with them, but I was disappointed they lost to Dalto last week, which I thought they would have won that on my expectation of seeing the players that were out there, but I thought DVO played a good game. Like the last game, was pretty much over by half time, which is pretty much happens in korfball. The best team can dominate at times.
He's atypical. He's small size, but extremely good shooting. But I think in this case, his size was a disadvantage for them as a team because they had a lot of recycling with him. In the defensive side, so I think that was a little bit the decision of keeping him in the second half on the bench. But he's an extremely good shooter normally. So it's a weapon. They got 4 girls, DVO around 20. So if you speak of a young team, there you have it. The 4 starting girls will. 19 or 20, so they well, they have to pay some experience money. Like,
yeah, I mean, just talking about the experience, I think Kurtan Mirkirk and Daniela Bodie for DVO, I think they have been training on the side of the national squad, so hopefully they're breaking through. I don't think that DVO girls had much of a chance in this game. They, I think they worked hard to try and get what they could, but if you're coming up against Celeste Split, really just it's got to scare you. But great experience, and what I'd really liked in terms of their style, there wasn't no one plays like Top, but there wasn't that much difference in terms of the tactical approach that we're taking. They were really prepared to take that early shot, like in the attack, no messing around. They would occasionally compromise the quality of the collect they had. If the collect wasn't perfect, they'd go, look, I'm going to shoot this. And of course, like all teams, all good teams, they will take that second shot. And they had some good second shots. And Top, it's not arrogance. It might be laziness, but they do collapse in a little bit. A lot of teams do. And so they had a lot of good second shots after the collection. Yeah. But as you said, they just started to struggle to get possession after a collection. And there was... I thought they were kind of in the game up until about halfway through the first half, and then there was a period where Top scored 7 out of 8, and I was looking at the divisions that were attacking. They really were like Top had just found out a way to intercept the ball, force a bad shot, or to get a collect, which normally they weren't taking bad shots, but they weren't getting the ball. The ball's going down the other end. And there's Nick Bigard and Celeste and Barbara and Anhol's having a bit of fun throwing the ball around. That's got to be really demoralizing to watch because like your attack is lasting 7 seconds, and then you're going down there. Their attack is lasting 50. It's looking beautiful, and every time you're looking at your teammates defending, let's say Celeste or defending Yet, who was I thought shot well from the outside, it's demoralizing. It's hard, but experience.
Yeah, it's. They put it defendedly. Top put a lot of pressure on the feet, so it was hard to get in the feet. Yeah, even the second feed, it was hard to get into. And then the pullouts, they let it go far away. So the pullouts, the little short chances were on the sidelines, and that's just a really difficult shot to take and a difficult shot to score, and a lot of ball losses there. I think Top in the first half, in the attacking kind of way, it was kind of sloppy. Sometimes it was kind of ball throwing out, and DVO couldn't compromise on that. Couldn't keep up the score.
They couldn't take advantage of that. No. But yeah, so they're trying to play a game that is going to win them big games, DVO. But they ran into like a good team today. I mean, talking about Top, it was great to see that flowing style again. Really, that's the style that I like. I'm prejudiced towards that style because it is interesting. Comparing their attitude towards running the block and getting the feed compared to, let's say, K.C, who were machine-like when they needed to get that, it's like, oh, we're going to have to run the block. And they have a little chart. It's almost like an afterthought. But I think that's a little bit of rest for them because if they have to run the block, they all stand still. Rest, walk, and then they're off again. So, whereas K.C constantly working. I'm not saying which is best. I'm saying that look, no matter you've only got so much energy to spend. No matter how fit you are, all teams are fit, but they. So they take it. It looks very casual at times, but it's exciting to watch and it's effective and it really got the job done. Talking about it's good to see that front defense can win out. That eventually they stopped them passing in some phases because the front defense is so good. And the same with K.C. Both of the top teams playing front defense and that really telling on the outside. Really kind of cutting that feed out. And it's suddenly because I thought in, let's say, the first 10 minutes, DVO were passing the ball through the post well. They're trying to turn heads, but that pass just got harder to make. And then eventually they kind of like come a little bit closer together, and it was less effective.
Yeah, and well, at the beginning of the game, but maybe it's a natural. You see it in all sports. They were kind of like the decision make of the referees were kind of like in the advantage of top, but I think that's a normal reflex.
Yeah. I know that Davio coached short, so I suspect I thought it was a couple of contacts where the top player charging in. I thought Davio were keeping a good line, but they weren't getting decisions on that.
No.
I think that's the most. I keep on saying on commentary, the most difficult decision for the referees to make is like who has got that line. It was definitely contact. I've got to give a decision. And I thought a few of them early on went against Davio. I wouldn't necessarily say it was big club. I'm talking 2 or 3 decisions, and that kind of turns your mind a little bit and makes you kind of look at it. And of course, top was so competitive.
Then you get confirmed in every little call afterwards.
Yeah.
So that's from experience.
Yeah. But it also kind of like is multiplied by the fact that top are so competitive. They're always appealing. And Celeste has got the best appeal. You can see her whole body language kind of screams, I'm the best player in the world, and I had that. And no disrespect to her. That's look, if I had that body language, I'd be doing that as well. And if I was as good as her, well, I'd be jumping up and down. But it's a fair game. It was a fair game, and like the ref settled down a little bit, and then that was it.
Yeah. So I guess it's easy to say. Well, maybe it's an early stage of the competition. So, but those 2 teams, Top and PKC, they're looking great. I hope there will be some surprises because we don't want to be in the second round and already know our finalists. So I hope there will be some teams who can, jump to the occasion in order to shake a little bit on the tree to make the competition interesting. Do you see what LDODK maybe?
Maybe I haven't seen them this season, but they're a strong. Yeah, look, they're a top 4 team within the normal 10 team structure. Of course, for those that haven't really followed that closely this year, we've got 2 pools of 6.
Yeah.
And the top 4 of each pool will qualify for a crossover. So 1 versus 4, 2 versus 3 across. So that for me, Davio should be in there despite their loss to Dalto. So the goal now in the season is, I think you're looking at, we haven't mentioned Fortuna yet, you're looking at Fortuna, Top, in the same pool, they're going to go 1 and 2. Everyone else scrapping it out for 3 and 4. 3 will be much, much better than 4 because 4 you're facing probably PKC. But there's a lot of good teams in the competition all over.
Yeah, okay. So I guess we can leave it here unless you got something else to say.
Yeah, I just want to say I had a good discussion with Kees Wildenberg last night, as I already mentioned, and so we talked a lot about the protocols, and I think he's pretty pleased with the way it was going on. He's disappointed that their number 1 goal of getting more people actually playing korfball. I think of I think it was PKC 7 when my friends in the PKC media team play in that team, and they ain't getting no korfball at the moment.
No.
So I think they're disappointed that haven't been able to achieve that, but I think it is quite understandable. But one thing he did say, which really surprised me, is they've got a plan, tentative at the moment, to play the final with crowds. Okay. It's looking like it's going to be in the new hall at the Ahoy, as Kay said. So not actually on the holy ground, which is the Ahoy, which we both know so well. But there's a smaller, newer hall which has got 3,000. Okay. And so the plan is to hope. So it's in April. So for me, that's really quick. I suspect here in England, I still can't but you get out the door. I won't be drinking beer at that stage. No. But 3,000 capacity, 1,000 for each of the finalists to be tested on the day before they travel to the final. So they got this plan where if you're going, then everybody goes to the clubhouse the night before, the day before, like rapid testing to try and clear them to get in the hall.
Ambitious.
Ambitious plan. And look, as he's telling me, I'm thinking, oh, Case, look, I'm not sure, dude. But I said, fair enough. Look, you're going to aim for it.
Okay, Tom.
Okay, Dirk, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, no worries. We'll see. We'll chat about next games maybe. Next week maybe. We'll see. Until next week. Yeah, bye.
Take care, dude. Bye-bye.